Iran fires 300 hypersonic missiles at Tel Nof Airbase. 80 Israeli jets destroyed. IDF loses air war. At 3:12 a.m., something unusual reportedly unfolded over central Israel, according to multiple defense-linked scenario assessments circulating online. There was no traditional warning glow, no familiar escalation pattern, only a sudden, blinding white flash that appeared before sound itself seemed to arrive. If you're watching closely, subscribe now, because what you're about to hear breaks down how modern defense systems can be pushed into limits most people never think about. The first impact, according to these reports, struck a high-value runway at a major airbase with extreme precision. Within seconds, secondary impacts followed, not randomly, but in a synchronized pattern that suggests deliberate sequencing rather than scattered fire. And here's where the first major question emerges. How does a layered defense network react when multiple threats arrive faster than its response cycle? Before we break that down, like and subscribe if you want daily deep breakdowns like this, because understanding modern conflict requires going beyond headlines. Within minutes, key infrastructure reportedly suffered cascading failures, runway functionality was disrupted, support systems went offline, and aircraft readiness was significantly affected based on early assessments. But this wasn't being described as a simple strike. Analysts emphasize something more complex: timing and coordination. And that leads to another critical question. Was the objective destruction or system disruption at scale? Because those are not the same thing. According to the scenario analysis, the first layer of disruption may not have been physical at all. Electronic interference patterns reportedly created false tracking signals across defense radars. That means operators could have been responding to threats that weren't real, while real threats approached under compressed timelines. At the same time, low-cost aerial systems are believed to have been deployed in overlapping waves, not to cause major damage directly, but to force defensive systems into continuous engagement mode. This creates a condition known in military analysis as defensive saturation pressure. And here's the next critical question. What happens when interception systems exhaust response capacity before the main threat arrives? The answer is not theoretical, it's structural. The main impact phase reportedly involved high-speed guided systems striking pre-identified infrastructure points. These included runway sections, critical for aircraft deployment, fuel storage, and logistics zones, hardened shelter structures, command and coordination nodes. What makes this significant is not just impact, but targeting logic. Each strike appears to align with a specific operational dependency chain. If confirmed, this suggests a strategy focused not on destruction alone, but operational paralysis. And this leads to a deeper concern, because once infrastructure dependency is broken, recovery time becomes more important than initial damage. How long does an air force remain operational if coordination systems fail, but aircraft remain physically intact? This is where modern warfare becomes less about firepower and more about timing windows. Analysts highlight that even temporary disruption in command systems, runway availability, maintenance coordination can create exponential delays in sortie generation. That means the real impact is not measured in destroyed equipment, but in lost operational cycles. Even a short disruption window can reshape tactical planning across an entire region. What makes this scenario significant is not isolated damage, but system design stress testing. Modern air defense architecture relies on layered assumptions, detection accuracy, interceptor timing, threat predictability, engagement sequencing. But if multiple layers are stressed simultaneously, the system shifts from structured defense to reactive survival mode. And that leads to a broader question. Are modern defense systems optimized for known threats or emerging hybrid ones? Another notable aspect highlighted in reports is the response timing gap. Even when detection systems activate, engagement decisions must pass through multiple layers: identification, authorization, interceptor, allocation, launch, execution under compressed timelines. Even seconds matter. And in high-speed scenarios, seconds may define outcome. What is the real decision window between detection and interception in modern hypersonic scenarios? because if that window shrinks below reaction capability, the system transitions from active defense to observation mode. Following the reported sequence, the broader concern is not just physical damage, but operational recalibration. Key implications include redistribution of air assets, temporary reduction in operational tempo, increased reliance on dispersed infrastructure, reevaluation of defense layering strategies. However, it is also important to note these are scenario-based analyses and not confirmed battlefield outcomes. One of the most discussed elements in defense analysis is cost imbalance. High-value aircraft and infrastructure require massive investment and long production cycles. Meanwhile, precision strike systems, even when advanced, can be deployed at significantly lower per-engagement cost. This creates a strategic equation. If low-cost systems consistently disrupt high-value assets, deterrence models must evolve. Beyond immediate impact, analysts emphasize a second-order effect: perception. Because in strategic environments, what matters is not only capability, but belief in capability. If a system is perceived as vulnerable, even temporarily, it changes deployment behavior, risk calculations, alliance positioning, operational planning cycles. Is modern air dominance still defined by technology or by survivability under saturation pressure? What emerges from this scenario analysis is not a single event, but a layered operational pattern: disruption before destruction, saturation before precision system targeting before asset targeting, timing before firepower. And that shift is what makes this type of analysis critical, because modern conflict is no longer just about who strikes, but about who can maintain function under pressure. If you want daily breakdowns of real-world defense systems, strategy shifts, and high-level conflict analysis explained in simple terms, subscribe now so you don't miss the next update. And if you found this breakdown valuable, like and share it, because understanding modern warfare isn't optional anymore, it's essential. This channel updates daily, not weekly, bringing you faster analysis of evolving global events.